Hello and welcome to LFC Focus. So Liverpool lost 2-1 at Old Trafford today, and it was incredibly frustrating in the end. Quite simply, Liverpool just made crucial mistakes at crucial times in the game, really, and it cost us. It's been described on the Anfield Wrap that Manchester United play moments football. They take advantage of those single moments where they have the opportunity to change the game. And unfortunately today, Liverpool gave them two fantastic opportunities, two fantastic moments. And Manchester United, and in particular Marcus Rashford, obviously, just took them with aplomb. And that is what took the game away from us. And no matter how hard Liverpool tried with what was a pretty impressive second half performance, for all the awful games we've played out against Jose Mourinho's Manchester United, that was one of the few extended periods of a game where I really felt like we had a possibility of actually scoring at least one or two proper goals, because obviously we've only now scored 2 goals against Mourinho's Man United, and that was a penalty and an own goal. We yet to have actually scored a goal from open play that wasn't just an accident by one of their players. So that second 45 minutes really felt promising, and it is just so annoying that we got ourselves into a position where that second 45 wasn't enough to win the game, and I'll come on to Craig Pawson later because there's obviously a lot to say about that refereeing performance, but we've got to talk about our own performance first. And like I said, those 2 moments kill the match for us, and you can't be making mistakes like that in massive games like this. Dejan Lovren, for all the brilliant form he's been showing over the last few games, and for all this talk that maybe Dejan Lovren had finally found his feet at Liverpool and finally settled down after so many years of inconsistent performances and dodgy mistakes left, right and centre, it finally felt like, Dejan Lovren was actually giving us his best football, and it was because of Virgil van Dijk next to him. But once again, when the heat's on, when the pressure's on and Dejan Lovren really needs to deliver, he just doesn't manage it. He doesn't manage it for Liverpool. I mean, he talked himself up before the game. It seems like that's just inevitable now, that whenever Dejan Lovren starts doing well, he talks himself up and is immediately punished for it. But yeah, just comes to the ball ridiculously, gets nowhere near it, gets absolutely dominated by Romelu Lukaku, which is annoying because we've seen Lovren do well against Lukaku in the past. He feels like the kind of player I thought before the game was perfect for that kind of physical battle, and he just lets himself down. It just feels like a sheer lack of ability on his behalf. The exact same thing that happened at Wembley earlier on in the season, where Dejan Lovren seemed to be exposed for simply not being good enough, and also again poor decision making to come out like that as well. You could argue that maybe the midfield needs to back him up, but at the end of the day, it's not a threatening position. It's the kind of position where it's not ideal, but you're better off letting Romelu Lukaku just win that header on his own and keeping your position, and also looking after the 19-year-old kid who's playing right back next to you. I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing. It would be lovely if we all had it, but in hindsight, it would have been nice for Gomez playing that game. I think it's fairly obvious now that he should have been the choice at right back. But before the game, I think everyone was calling for Alexander-Arnold. I thought he should have played. I think most people did. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp did as well, because he's in some very good form. Afterwards now, it's fairly clear that we should have put Gomez in because, with Lovren coming out and being exposed like that up against Romelu Lukaku, you need someone like Gomez who can act as an extra centre-back in those kind of situations, kind of like Andrew Robertson was, who was actually performed quite well in the first half. There were a few moments when Andy Robertson looked really, really composed, so that's a plus point for Liverpool there, I guess. And I mean, for the first 10 minutes, I thought Lovren was having a very good game. He was aggressive, he was coming to the ball, he was mopping up for the mistakes that Alexander-Arnold did make, and actually looked like he was having a really, really good game. But again, just a couple of mistakes let him down again. And as much as I want Lovren to do well, and as much as I've been talking about how he's been playing well over the last few games, it really does feel like, he's just never going to be good enough to be a long-term centre-back at Liverpool. And we do need someone who is like Lovren stylistically, but not as error-prone as him. But yeah, Lovren comes to the ball, doesn't really need to do it at the end of the day. Again, hindsight's a lovely thing. If Lovren knew that was going to happen, he probably wouldn't have come for the ball. But yeah, then the ball comes down. Trent Alexander-Arnold gets a little bit roasted by Rashford, to be honest. I mean, it's a lovely, lovely finish by Marcus Rashford, by the way. Just take nothing away from him because of that. But Trent Alexander-Arnold has to show him out wide. A player like Marcus Rashford is always going to try and cut inside, always going to try and create a shot for himself rather than get to the byline and get a cross into the box or something like that. You have to show him to the byline. Alexander-Arnold just gives him so much space to turn back inside, and it's it's a mistake from the kid, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you want a 19-year-old kid to become a really good right back, you've kind of got to allow for that. You can't expect him to not make mistakes, because otherwise he's never going to learn and he's never going to become a top player. So, you know, if he doesn't make that mistake today, he makes it another day, and it's just annoying that it had to be today. You know, I think that's the takeaway from today's game, is that it was a poor performance from Liverpool, the kind that we can allow for certain reasons here and there. You know, we've kind of been due a flat performance from Liverpool after all the good play that we've been shown over the last few months. But it's just so frustrating that it had to happen at Old Trafford. And again, had to happen in a game where Man U weren't that great. You know, defensively, they were pretty good in the second half. You know, I think they gave Liverpool a little bit more space than they would have liked. And on a day with a little bit less luck for United and a little bit more luck for Liverpool, they may have been exploited for that. But I mean, Ashley Young, huge credit to him, kept Mo Salah quiet absolutely brilliantly. Mo Salah barely had a sniff all game. So Man U defended very well, but going forward, they were offering absolutely naff all apart from those chances. I mean, they didn't exactly park the bus for the first 25 minutes. It was only after, maybe even in the second half, when Liverpool actually looked like they were threatening, that Man U started to sit a little bit deeper and focus primarily on defending. But I mean, it's just annoying, you know. Man U didn't play that great. Their goals come from well-rehearsed moves, you know, credit to them for having a sort of an idea of how to score goals that they know how to pull off very well. But well-rehearsed moves that just exploited weaknesses in Liverpool's game and, again, caught Liverpool on a bad day. So, an incredibly frustrating game. Obviously, the second goal, very similar incident to the first. Dejan Lovren comes out, causes some problems. Alexander-Arnold gets caught out positionally a little bit. Again, a good finish from Marcus Rashford, so fair play to him for that. And then, you know, we all know how the game went on from there. Like I said, Craig Pawson, just shocking refereeing. I mean, it's the kind of refereeing, you know, where it's a bottle job from the referee, because you think he gives every decision outside the box. He gives free kicks all the time, but never gives a decision inside the box, because, you know, it's a fear of making decisions that put you in the limelight. And as a referee, you've just got to go with what's correct. And he hasn't done that today. You know, Man U players were falling about all over the place outside the box, and they were getting free kick after free kick. I mean, you knew what day it was going to be with that Emre Can tackle, which is a really good tackle early on in the game. You know, gets in, wins the ball, doesn't leave too much on the Man United player, actually plays the ball to a Liverpool player as well, so it almost functions as a pass rather than a tackle, and yet still gets done for a free kick, and Man U get a decision going their way, and you're thinking, but why? And you knew what kind of game it was going to be from there on in. It carried on like that for the rest of the day. I mean, giving every decision their way whenever they were throwing themselves around outside the box. But whenever one of our players was getting fouled in the box, just didn't want to know. And I mean, Mo Salah, you've got to be a little bit cheekier there. I think the only reason he doesn't go down in the box, I'm not sure it's an honesty thing. I think it's simply because he thinks if he does go down, he probably won't get the decision. And I'm not entirely surprised, because the referee wasn't interested in giving Liverpool any decisions today. You've got the handball one as well. You've got the one with Sadio Mane. And while, look, they're not stonewall penalties, they're not ones that, you know, he's going to get demoted to League Two or anything for. But when they pile up, and then you look at all the other decisions he made all the way through the game, you know, the fact that Marcus Rashford could potentially have got sent off for 2 yellow cards as well, you've just got to look at it and say it's an appalling performance from the referee, and perhaps even worse than what we had from John Moss last month, in that at least that was only a couple of horrendous decisions rather than a consistent 90 minutes of rubbish from the referee. So yeah, that let us down today. The performance kind of let us down today. Obviously, Man U, like I said, exploited two very poor moments of Liverpool to maximum effect and managed to win the game off the back of that. Like I said at the top of the video, like was said on the Anfield wrap, it's something that they're very good at, is exploiting those small tiny moments. But the most important thing for Liverpool is that, weirdly, it's not too demoralising a defeat. You know, we're angry, we're upset, we're cross, we are hurt, we are all annoyed with what's happened today. We're incredibly frustrated, not just with the defeat, but the way it panned out as well. But when you take it in the context of the whole season and you look ahead to the next few games, it doesn't feel that bad, you know. It feels like the kind of defeat where the most important thing now is to just make sure that by the end of the season, we've forgotten all about it. You know, if Liverpool fall apart from here on in, and I don't think that's going to happen, I think we should be fine between now and the end of the season, then yeah, we'll look back on this and say, look, that's where it turned. That's where things fell apart. That's where heads fell off and things suddenly went downhill. But as far as I can see, it doesn't feel like that's going to happen. It feels like, you know, Liverpool will recover from this very, very well. We've got a week until our next game against Watford at home. A lovely opportunity to just completely put this game behind us. And basically, we've got to do what Chelsea did last season, because they lost 2-0 at Old Trafford around this time of the season, you know, and they were in a very, very good run of form as well, and came up against a United side that was poor, but just managed to do the business on the day. And I think that's kind of what's happened to us today, and we need to do what Chelsea did, which is ignore what's happened effectively. You know, you've got to be angry about it, you've got to address the issues, but you can't let it affect your mentality going into the rest of the season. And as long as Liverpool do exactly what Chelsea did, as long as Liverpool recover from this quickly and effectively, then as upsetting as it is, I hate losing to Man United. I absolutely hate it, and I hate seeing Man United win. And obviously, again, they've done a number on us, because they're now 4 points ahead of us and cruising, potentially in cruise control for second place in the league. But at the end of the day, it doesn't feel like it's such a bad thing, provided Liverpool put it behind them and carry on getting back to winning ways. So that is it for today's video. Before I leave you, don't forget to get your questions in for the 5,000 subscriber Q&A special that will be coming up on this channel. If you want to ask me anything about Liverpool or general football or just general stuff, then do let me know in the comments below. Just pop your questions in there, or give questions to me at LFC Focus TV on Twitter. Don't forget to follow that Twitter account as well. And apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button there if you're new around here. Check out some of the other videos that have been out on the channel over the past few days as well. And I'll be back in a few days for the pre-match content for the game against Watford. Bye for now.